All right. Okay, so I want to give you an overview of informative speaking. So first of all, what is it? It is very similar to original oratory, and I'll kind of present this as it relates to original oratory. Because we presented original oratory first in the class, and so just to kind of help give you some context and everything. Similar to original oratory, this is a speech that shouldn't exceed 10 minutes, so about 8 to 10 minutes on a topic of your choosing. However, the topics are going to, or at least the way you present it, is going to be more of an informative or expository nature, less persuasion, certainly maybe similar to original oratory in bringing up an important current issue, a problem with the world and the status quo. But the way you present it is going to be less persuasive and more informative on the issues. You're going to emphasize evidence, logic, and educating the audience rather than persuading the audience. But you want to use good communication practices, public speaking practices, using voice, facial expressions, body language, things like that, and also movement. We're going to get to it a little bit, but another distinction is going to be a visual aid, which most competitive informative speakers are using visual aids. I'm not going to play this video in this current video, but please go into the actual presentation and take a watch for yourself of an informative speech. This was at the 2022 Nationals. This is one of 6 finalists. So this is a great demonstration of an effective speech, and you'll notice how the speaker has chosen a topic that is relevant, that is an issue. It probably could be used for original oratory and turn it more into persuasive nature, but this is being used informatively just to bring awareness to the issue. And you can also see how this speaker uses effective visual aid to enhance the speech. Okay, so going through this information, how do you choose a topic? First of all, choose from an area that interests you. So I've listed a few topics. Of course, there are more. And work on discovering something new in that area. You don't want to be so broad as to cover every single, the environment in general. Find some subtopic, the way that some popular product that exists today is actually dangerous for the environment, right? Something that people would be interested, a majority of people would be interested in learning more about. You want to bring your audience into this. And then like I said here in the slide, you want to narrow the focus to something that has a significant implication on society today, positive or negative. Okay, so here's a list of topics from last year's, actually it was performed earlier in 2024 at the national finals. And this is just kind of a title and a brief overview. These were the 6 finalists. So one is about trans rights, the other one about style and image in the Black community as it relates to hair, one about naturalization, citizenship, and immigration, another one about hormones and how they're misrepresented in social media, another about the commodification of clean air, and then another one about modern threats against the right of free play, recess, if you will, for children and youth. All of these were obviously very effective topics, and pretty much all of them relate to common issues that exist today, but there's a narrow focus. So hopefully you can kind of use that to sort of think through what are some potential topics that you could choose from. Visual aids. Visual aids are not required in informative speaking, but as you can see in the slide notes there, pretty much all of the most successful competitors use them. If you were to watch video, and I can make them available. They're not on like YouTube, but if you ever wanted to see them, I have that resource. All 6 of the finalists in this past year's nationals used visual aids. So yeah, it's not required, but you probably want to use it to be more successful. It's kind of expected among the best prepared informative speeches. And with that in mind, you want to write your speech keeping in mind your visual aid, right? And so don't just tack on the visual aid after you've written your speech. If you're going into it knowing I want to utilize visual aids, how will that affect what you write, where, and how you think through demonstrating, pointing to, modeling the visual aid, right? Writing introductions is very similar to an original oratory. You still want to work on an effective attention getting device, or AGD. You're still going to have an issue statement. I retitled it topic statement, but essentially an issue statement. Here, I didn't add thesis because you don't really want necessarily to persuade or take a position on something, but otherwise, this is the same as original oratory: attention getting device, topic or issue statement, and then the roadmap. Essentially overviewing what points you're going to get to during your speech. This is similar information to original oratory, so you can go back through the slides yourself on these. Same thing with the roadmaps. Now, the actual organization of the main points is going to be a little bit different here than in your original oratory. I thought I had another slide in there about the differences with original oratory, but essentially you probably want to think through your main points being like subtopic 1, subtopic 2, and the implications, right? Not a solution, because that's the big difference. You don't have a solution step like you would in original oratory, because original oratory usually it's kind of like background, implication, solution. Here it's more like, it could be background, but subtopic 1, subtopic 2, and then implications. You still want your audience members to be contemplating the implications, even if you're not going to then delineate what are some practical solutions in the informative speech. You still want to consider the classical appeals, rhetorical appeals like ethos, logos, and pathos. You're probably going to have a little less pathos in an informative speech, but it certainly doesn't mean it's not there. An effective informative speech is still going to grab somebody's attention and bring them in emotionally, even if you're doing less persuasion at the end of it. So again, potential outlining. And then also, as you're thinking through subtopics, here's just sort of a helpful practice. You can write a list of things you find interesting about your topic. So, think of like 8 to 10, just all the different things about your topic that you find interesting. And then try to group those together. Go take that list of 8 to 10, group those into categories, 2 or 3 categories if you can, that are kind of general. Do you see any similarities between these areas of interest within your topic, and see if you can use that then to sort of organize your subtopics. You can, I've given some examples, or an example at a link in the slide. So again, just make sure that you go into the presentation itself, the slides itself, and click on that link, and you can see some more examples. Same thing with original oratory, some general principles when adding research into your speech to help you think through the best type of evidence for you. And then the conclusion of your informative speech, very similar. Review your roadmap and main points, reconnect with the AGD, inspire one more time around the audience of the implications, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I also wanted to show you in the class, Google Classroom, you also have this outline, just like I posted for the original oratory, just to kind of help you sort of think through your ideas and everything. So, oops, let me switch to sharing this tab. Here we go. So from here, you can kind of see this broken down. So as you're thinking through how to develop your speech, use this outline to guide you. This is the same substructure, sort of main body or main point structure that's suggested from the original oratory. I went ahead and left this here. It's a little bit different. When you think of significance, again, your third main point is really going to be significance or implications, but it doesn't mean you don't talk at all about significance earlier on. It just means your last major point or that, should really be dedicated to implications about the topic. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of everything for. Oh, sorry, I literally need to change the name of this. Informative speaking. But hopefully that gives you an overview of informative speaking. You can start thinking through topics and visual aids and how you want to start developing that. As always, remember you don't have to do this all by yourself in a silo. Use other team members. Come talk to me because I want to take something you're passionate about. If you're interested in doing informative speaking, I want to take something you're passionate about and then guide that focus on that passion in an area that's going to help you be competitive and successful, right? Because we want to combine the things we're good at, the things we're interested in, and maybe a little bit of that competitive spirit, and really deliver one of the best speeches possible.